Welcome back to the fourth and final segment of this conversation, where we discuss whether it's actually feasible to provide a laptop to each child, whether it's actually possible to bridge that digital divide to ensure that the benefits of information and communications technologies truly reaches the poorest of the poor, the most underprivileged sections of society. With me here I have Mr. Satish Jha. He is the CEO of the OLPC Foundation, the One Laptop Per Child Foundation, based in the US, where he lived in Geneva, studied all over India and the US and France. Mr. Jha, we say that it's possible for farmers to benefit from information technology. We believe that it is possible for a poor woman in a remote village to get medical advice from the leading medical practitioners in the biggest hospital in a city. We say it is possible for information technology to computerize land records, as the Karnataka government has done, do away with corruption, do away with venality, computerize so many aspects of our life. The same bank unions that opposed the use of computers, saying it's not going to take away our job, it's going to take away jobs for our children, those same bank unions have embraced information technology. The railways, we see the benefit of computerization in the working of Indian Railways. You don't have to stand in queue for hours and hours or bribe a tout to get a railway ticket. It reaches your home faster than you can say. Yes, there are parts of India that have benefited immensely through information and communications technology. But we in India have not been able to replicate our success stories. We have not been able to show how information and communications technology can truly empower and truly benefit the poor. We've not been able to follow best practices and replicate them across this country of ours. What have been these biggest failures? What have been those biggest challenges? How do we move ahead?
I think one major challenge that we face is this, which I have seen very often. We see a new book come, we look at the cover page and we say, we could have written the book ourselves. We forget that to write the book must have taken the author a lot of learning to go through. That is a major challenge. So what I would say is, wherever we have succeeded, our success is actually generations behind the quality of success in the rest of the world. If we can get over the fact that it's a good thing to learn first before we begin to do it. Learning by doing was a great idea, but learning by doing also has its own cost of learning, which we can minimize by learning first and doing afterwards. We haven't learned to do that. We are tempted to do things in a very, very different way without getting deeper into it. That's one major foundational problem that I have noticed. That's one. Second, you asked me, can we do it?
So this is not just, this is an attitudinal problem.
It's a very deep-rooted problem.
It's a sociological, psychological, socio-psychological problem.
A very serious problem.
We think we know it all, but actually we don't.
That's right.
And we are unwilling to learn, is it?
That's right. And other day I was sitting with one major player in the information technology field. He said, the world can't teach us technology. I immediately said, I want to agree with you, but I'm struggling very, very hard. Can you tell me the technology we created in the past 63 years, one piece of it, which the world accepted? Suddenly he was quiet because he couldn't answer that question. We can today, the first question, can we get every child to learn on computer today? Yes. Ministry of Human Resource Development says we have no financial constraint on its website. I would say very simple. We got 20 million or 2 crore children entering the primary school system every year. Imagine this. You give them all 15,000 rupees budget for each child for laptop over and above whatever your budget is. Your normal spend every child has 784 rupees, 85 rupees every month. I'm saying spend 300 rupees per month extra. Second thing, how do you decide? Do you decide how cheap something is, or do you decide what value it creates? First decide what is the value you get, then look for the price. Right now we're saying, no, I will take computer only when it's 10 rupees per month or per...
That's a bureaucratic mindset, is it?
We have to change that. And what happens is our leaders are led, it's a very complex dynamics here. Leaders are led by bureaucrats, or bureaucrats are led by, there is some kind of osmosis goes on. As a system we remain 6 generations behind.
But at the end of the day, is it not possible to cut through these so-called vested interests? You know, let's accept one thing.
Leadership is the only way.
You know that Patwari,
yes,
who makes a quick buck because he has the land records. He doesn't want to give up his power. He doesn't want a system where every person can access those land records and the pattas and the land deeds.
Yeah.
So he has a vested interest in not wanting computerization. I can understand that. But surely, India does not lack visionaries or individuals who are capable, who have a vision, who have who are not myopic in their the way they work, and what they see is the way forward to empower underprivileged sections of our society.
In general, I have seen one thing, like I shared, I've met 3,000 people in India about my laptop, and everybody wants it individually. But collectively, if you put a person, wrong person, at a place where he has a control of funds or policy, that's what happens here. So by the time you put, in this case, there is a wrong person sitting somewhere who is giving wrong direction to policy. You can't change the person because nobody's interested in changing it.
But surely the good will drive out the bad. Those so-called black sheep, the one guy with a vested interest, the one guy who's corrupt, the one guy who doesn't want, who has a very narrow vision, surely he cannot be constraining everybody else and sort of preventing a system from moving forward?
Let me ask you, then why is the Ramdin and Bisfi village in Bihar, who is 63 years old, is still illiterate, still doesn't have much? What happened? So in other words, our good hasn't driven out the bad. Our bad has actually kept good at bay. And that is what has consistently happened. But I was sharing with you how you can actually get every child to have it. Our midday meal budget is 34,000 crores. If we say that our job of education is not midday meal, but also giving education, and we just put as much as midday meal on education with laptop, we've solved the problem.
सतीश जी, मेरा हिंदी कमज़ोर है, आप तो हिंदी भाषी हैं. अगर आप आम आदमी को आम भाषा में अगर आप समझाएंगे कि ये जो सूचना प्रयुक्तिकी की बात आप कर रहे हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, कंप्यूटर की बात कर रहे हैं, ये आम आदमी को फ़ायदा हो सकता है, सचमुच आप कह रहे हैं, ये संभव है, या आप सिर्फ एक
ये सपना नहीं
सपना
है,
देख रहे हैं?
ये संभव है, उतना ही संभव जितना 42 देशों में जहां भी राष्ट्रपति आज से आगे देख सकता है, वहां लोग इसका फ़ायदा आज उठा रहे हैं. और उनकी भाषा सब जगह, गरीबों की भाषा एक है, अशिक्षा की भाषा एक है. उसका मतलब हमारे पास उतनी योग्यता नहीं होती. इन कंप्यूटरों से 6 महीने में बच्चे उतना सीख सकते हैं जो आज की तारीख में 5 साल में सीखते हैं. उनको हम 4.5 साल वापस कर देते हैं उनके बचपन के, और उनको क्रिएटिव बनाते हैं. वो बच्चे हमारे साथ खड़े होकर के, मैं वही उसी गांव का एक बच्चा हूं, सिर्फ मुझे पढ़ने का मौका मिला तो मैं आपके साथ बैठ पाया. आज हर बच्चा मेरी तरह हो सकता है. इस देश में हर बच्चे में इतनी काबिलियत है को मेरे साथ चल सके, सिर्फ उसको मौका देना पड़ेगा पढ़ने का.
तो क्या चुनौती हमारे सामने है? व्हाट आर दोज चैलेंजेस? हाउ डू वी ओवरकम देम? अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि आप अगर हमें 10 पॉइंट बताइए जो हमें अभी अभी करना चाहिए, और आज नहीं तो कल करना चाहिए, कल नहीं तो परसों करना चाहिए, so that the benefits of information technology, ये जो प्रयुक्तिकी की बात कर रहे हैं, ये सब लोग के पास पहुंचे, सब लोग को मदद करें.
प्रौद्योगिकी, जो सूचना प्रौद्योगिकी है, इसने इसकी लागत रोज घटती रहती है. और आज हम इस सीमा पे खड़े हैं. अगर हमारे देश का नेता, वो चाहे प्रधानमंत्री हो जो भी हो, ये तय करे कि हर 2 साल के बच्चे को उसका दिमाग विकसित हो, उसके लिए न्यूट्रिशन हमेशा मिले, 4 साल के बाद उसको OLPC जैसा कंप्यूटर मिले जिससे वो क्रिएटिव हो सके,
1 लैपटॉप पर चाइल्ड,
1 लैपटॉप पर चाइल्ड, 15 बरस की तक जो है उसको वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग, या तो वो आगे बढ़ सके शिक्षा में या वोकेशनल, लेकिन एंगेज करने के लिए सब कुछ मिले. इन अदर वर्ड्स, हर नागरिक को पूरा नागरिक बनने का मौका मिले. उसकी लागत हमारी जो 15 साल में है वो कितनी कम है? 15 साल में हमें हर साल अगर हम सिर्फ 5,000 रुपये खर्चा करें तो इस देश का हर नागरिक दुनिया की आज की तारीख में IT की वजह से, प्रौद्योगिकी की वजह से खड़ा होकर कह सकता है कि मैं सबके बराबर हूँ, मैं आपके साथ चल सकता हूँ. अब सबकी अपनी अपनी काबिलियत होगी, अपने अपने उनकी रुचियाँ होंगी, हम उसकी बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनमें काबिलियत तो हम पैदा कर सकते हैं, उतना हम कर सकते हैं.
सतीश
हम
झा
वो नहीं कर पाए अभी.
मेरा आखिरी सवाल जी, माय लास्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू सतीश झा जी, और 2 मिनट में आप जवाब दीजिए. जब हम कहते हैं अमेरिकन प्रेसिडेंट बराक ओबामा यहाँ आके बोलते हैं भारत विकसित देश होने वाले हैं, वी आर नॉट एन इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमी, वी हैव इमर्ज्ड, वी आर नॉट अ राइजिंग इकोनॉमी, वी हैव रिजन. और साथ साथ हम देख रहे हैं कि यूनाइटेड नेशंस ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स, वी आर 116th in the Human Development Index. So these are these two Indias. These are this huge divide between India and Bharat. So where do you see India moving in this direction? Will that digital divide widen, or do you see it narrowing?
The beautiful thing is both are right. There is an India which has emerged, there is an India which is far from emerging. And the one India that has emerged is keeping the India far from emerging altogether. That's the biggest challenge. Can the India that has emerged realize the fact what it can do to the India that's emerging? I can share with you, if just the members of India's diaspora just contribute what they would have normally paid for their education to the village today, the 3 million diaspora who earn 1/7 of India's GDP.
In the country where you live in, the 3 million.
3 million in one country alone. One country alone,
alone.
they earn 1/7 of India's income. If they just decide to pick up their own village, no other village, India suddenly in 5 years can be a very different country.
But you are literally sort of predicating India's development on the philanthropy of non-resident Indians who have their own selfish interests.
I'm not. I'm saying if my leader is not leader enough, then we will do that. But I will request my leader to be leader enough and see 5 years, 10, 15. My leader's responsibility is to make sure that in 15 years, every child who was born in India is a capable child.
All right. Satish Jha ji, thank you so much for coming here to the studio of Lok Sabha Television. Only time will tell whether your optimism is grounded in reality, whether your vision and the vision of others like you who believe each and every child in this country and on this planet should have a laptop. A laptop which runs on human energy, is infrastructure proof, dust proof, waterproof. Whether that will become reality or not, time will tell. Thank you once again for being with us. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
thank you so much.
There are optimists, there are visionaries, and time will tell whether or not we will be moving towards a world where every child would be empowered by information and communications technology. Thank you so much for being with us on this program.
Thank you.